just under 7 minutes to play. Down 10. Vedvik waiting. Now he'll get that ball and gets it away cleanly. This is a great kick. Edwards has to back up. It's going to keep bouncing all the way down and will roll out at the 5.
What a kick.
When I said great kick, I might have undersold him a little bit. That was absolutely brilliant. A 75-yard punt from Kåre Vedvik to back up the Elks.
Well, it got Edwards all spinning around. Ernest Edwards back there trying to figure out how to track it. Couldn't get his hands on it.
Best game I think we played all year on the kicking game, so that helped us win.
Coach, being the wily old special teams coach that you are, Vedvik, we're 2 games in. Has he been everything you thought he would be?
He had a good game today. In fact, I mean, off the top of my head, he might be the special teams player of the game. He flipped the field twice for us, and he's quick back there. He does a good job holding. I'm very pleased with Kåre Vedvik. He was a major contributor tonight to this win.
Thank you.
Kåre booted a 75-yard, almost coffin corner punt. Is that a sign of what he can do, or a sign of expectations? How do you look on that, on his performance?
I think he's a pretty good player, and I think hopefully that sort of game continues. He's going to have some highs and lows like all first-year players do, but that was definitely a strong game by him. He got the game ball on special teams for us, and we hope he continues to improve. I mean, it's going to be tough to improve on a 53-yard average night where you net 47, but we think he can be a consistent, solid producer at punter, and it was a good second game for a guy that really hasn't kicked a lot of balls in the last few years. So I thought he played well, and hopefully he can continue to get better each and every week. We think he's got a chance to be a good punter in this league.
You've had a couple games under your belt punching in the CFL. How do you sum it up?
First game to second game, my main focus was going in that week of practice on focusing on the small things, some small details. Ball is different than the NFL ball, so it's an adjustment and just trying to be consistent on turning the ball over, and improving every day in practice.
Well, we saw that 75-yard punt. Take us through that one. That's a pretty good punt.
Yeah, that's fun. I noticed the returner, he lined up in what I perceived as being pretty close to me. So I was like, if you're just going to have at it, if it goes over his head, it goes over his head, and you hope for the best. And I executed it, and it happened. So it's it's fun.
I thought you might have one more, Marie. Go ahead, Derek.
You executed it, and it happened. It kind of downplays how maybe awe-inspiring that was, Kåre. You understand how big a deal that was for punting nerds like some of us.
That's what we want. It was all net, 75 net, and that's cool and all. It's, it's I don't know how to say it. I mean, I went out there, you just saw the situation. There was little to no win. Snaps our money all night, so I just in my head, I just played it out a certain way, and it happened. So it's fun when it happens, but it takes it's all about your preparation and your practice. So same thing this week is just locking in on the small details and taking it into next week again. So the game is already played, it's over, it's on to the next one.
Is there a feeling that goes through you when you, I don't know if it's bamboozled the returner like that, but he was not expecting that ball to go that way and that far? Is there a feeling for you that you get from that?
Well, that's my goal. As a punter, it's you versus. It's you versus him. You gotta punt a ball that's hard for him to catch, or try to place as good as you can for your coverage team to help you out. And in my head, right there and then, I thought that he lined up too close, and I thought that I have a shot at this to send it over his head, and I'm going to try to. It's happened before in college once, and. It was the same situation. I had a little tailwind. The returner was like 45 yards away from me, and we have this like roll-out punt where I knew if I got a hold of it, it can go 60-plus yards in the air, and then if you send that thing over his head, he's going to have a hard time catching it. So, so it was kind of a similar situation. I was like, let's try it.
Corey, on a punt like that, as soon as you hit it, do you know you got a hold of one, or do you sometimes have to be like, oh, wow, I kicked it that far?
Feels good off your foot, that's for sure. So, you set the ball, first of all, you focus on catching it, setting it, hold a flat drop, and then you bring your foot through it, and once my foot hit it, I was like, it was a connection, and I was like, okay. I looked up, and I was like, okay, yeah, that thing went. So, it's always fun.
And how important has it been kind of your first few weeks to have a guy like Jorgen Hughes being the long snapper, a veteran long snapper who's played a lot of games?
Oh yeah, I told Jorgen too. I say, I'm very fortunate to have a guy at such a high level as him. So he's an expert at his craft, real professional, and he takes his job serious. Just and has a very high standard, and that helps me out tremendously. I'm just getting money snaps back there all the time. So that's I'm very happy and fortunate to have a teammate like that. So
Taylor.
Hey, Corey, as a punter, do you prefer just getting to unleash it into an open field, or do you prefer the coffin corner style approach?
It all depends on the situation. Obviously that was a situation that called for, or that allowed me to try to do that. Different situations calls for different styles of punts, and in the CFL, I'm learning pretty quick. There's a lot of different styles of punts. So no, not necessarily. I don't want to always swing away and just, a lot of times you can't swing away and hit a far one. You want to hit a shorter one, or you want to hit, lower one or higher one. So it all depends on the situation and what that calls for. But with punting, what I love about it is that the game allows you to have multiple clubs in your bag, and as a punter, it's your job to go out in the field and work on those things. And when the situation in the game calls for it, let's see if all the preparation and the practice has paid off, and if you can execute at a high level, then that's the reward.
Does the cold at all play a factor into your approach, whether it's punting a colder ball or keeping your hands warm in order to catch it?
That's about the only thing. I just try to keep my hands warm. I have a little hand warmer. We put some little heat packets in them, and then when you're not catching or doing your pre-kick routine, then your hands are in your little pockets, are just trying to keep your hands warm. But as soon as your hands are back out, it's just a normal punt.
But the ball doesn't get harder or anything to.
The ball probably does get, depends if it's been sitting out in the cold all the time. Then yeah, the cold air affects it a little bit. But you just try to see a ball. A ball is a ball. You just try to hit the thing like you would hit any other type of football. So.
Yeah, thanks.
Derek.
Corey, we're told that directional requirements for punters are bigger here in Canadian football than American football. Have you noticed that? How are you on that?
I noticed the field here is from the hashes to the sideline is a little wider, so the angles of when you directional punt can be a little more drastic. But still, it's just directional punting is about picking your target line and following your target line. So from the moment you catch the ball, make sure you get on your line and you follow through. So try not to put too much difference into it. Just view it as it's just directional punting, just a little steeper angle. So.
You know that you now have an impossible standard you have to live up to for the rest of your football career, right? 75 yards out of bounds at the 5.
Hey, I don't want it any other way. So.
I love it. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Glenn?
How are you liking your stay so far, Corey, in Saskatchewan and in Canada? Who knows what John Ryan's going to do? He's been pondering retirement for a while now. So would you like to make this long term?
Oh, I love it here so far. It's been very welcoming. The teammates are awesome, and we've been able to hang out together, get to know each other, and I call my family this week, and I say I love it up here, and I can see myself here, and I have no intentions of being anywhere else right now. So.
Do you speak Norwegian?
Norwegian's my first language. English is my second.
Can you repeat that last line in Norwegian?
Språket mitt første språk er norsk, og det andre språket mitt er engelsk. Throw me on the spot. Probably should have said morsmålet mitt er norsk, og andre språket mitt er engelsk.